Yeah. Coming at you.
Yo. So yeah, like I was saying.
Hold on a sec. Let me try this. I'm trying something new.
Okay.
Welcome to Infinite Weekend Podcast.
Oh, okay.
Episode 36. If you're a first time listener, I feel bad for you, but welcome to our crazy ass show. Yeah. So what's today? Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah, right before
Friday.
I know we usually do.
February 10th.
Yeah, I know we usually do like at the end of it, but I'm gonna try to be a little more consistent with in case we have like first time listeners that might jump on an episode. They're like, oh, this seems cool. Let me start on 36. So that's why I got to do that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. You wanted to kind of just lube everybody up.
Yeah, lube everybody up before we get in here and
All right,
start rocking and rolling. But go over what you're saying.
I was just going to go in raw.
Oh, okay. Well,
no condom, nothing. Ooh. Just, unprotected YOLO.
Okay. Okay. Get in there. No cap.
What were we talking about? We were talking about it this week about like bursting condoms and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Like we're talking about
Like
if
blow
it
through
rips.
the top of it.
Well, we're talking about that thing Dane Cook
condom
said.
went into awesome mode.
I've never heard that bit from Dane Cook, and you and Crunk said that, and I almost peed on myself driving.
It's like this condom just went into awesome mode.
And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, where it tears and it comes through?
It looks like an old pirate flag.
Well, it looks like a pirate, but it becomes like a collar on your dog of war. Yeah. It's like a really aggressive balloon animal. And then we started discussing like condom wars, I guess.
Yes, condom etiquette.
Condom etiquette. Yeah, that's when you learn. Like, did y'all in school ever do the banana thing? Like,
yeah,
as far
we
as
did the
sex
banana
ed?
thing. And you had to, with condom, you had the
reservoir tip.
Reservoir tip.
Yeah, you got to pinch.
Which I was like, I'm going to fill that up immediately.
Well, what sucks about
it's
that.
just so you don't have, it's just for air or whatever.
Yeah, for all of our female listeners, because majority of our listeners are all female.
Yeah, right.
It's like 9%.
The ones in Vegas are.
The ones in Vegas are. Thank you, ladies. So they tell you like pinch the reservoir tip. I'm like, okay, so you pinch and you roll down or whatever.
Right.
But my thought was like, whenever you go to like fill that, it literally feels like someone is shoving it all back in.
Right.
It's almost like someone punched your belly button, but it's your dick.
Yeah, and
it's
if it doesn't go back in, it's going to just go around the sides.
It goes
anyway.
around, and
so you're like.
It looks like a thing of water where water separates from oil.
Right. It's like if I wasn't very hydrated, that maybe I would fill that up. But I was like, no, I'm pretty
been a while.
Like, it's been a while. Like I'm gonna. I need a bigger reservoir. That's all I'm saying. Right. Well, I don't need a bigger condom because let's be real. But the reservoir, I'm gonna need a little bit more.
Maybe you can design.
I'm gonna
something.
Design a new one. It's just just picturing like
a little bucket.
giant like bulb on the end of it.
Yep. Or you can self-inflate.
Right. Or it's like really long, like a balloon animal.
Yeah. Or just one you have to pull. Like you pull it, the elasticity to what you need it for. Yeah, like right out of that.
Now I'm just picturing like wearing this condom, normal condom, and it's got this long tail coming out of it, like hitting the floor.
And what's funny is if you think your dick is ugly before, put it in one of those.
Smash it.
Oh my gosh, it looks horrible. Yeah. It looks like groceries that are just two stuffed in one bag. Oh yeah, it's terrible. To be a man,
right? Or it looks like like a bank robber where they put the thing over their face and like smashes their nose and everything.
That's what it looks like.
And so they're unrecognizable. My dick is unrecognizable.
It almost looks like a sausage encasing,
right?
But not anything you ordered. And then of course, like there's a stockpile of different ones. They can get blue or green ones or whatever. And you're like, that looks great. That's one of the ones where you get done. You're like, don't turn the light on before you get it off because it looks terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything becomes wilted. It sucks.
Yeah, and like the post nut condom removal is all kind of like.
Yeah, so
like,
I don't know if we talked.
It's also sensitive, so and
it kind of makes you look, and you're hunched over like a gargoyle. Right. So when I always like straight to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like pulling it off. It's all like gross and
smells weird. It sucks.
It's like you're jogging in a fucking sweater and then you take your t-shirt off because it's soaked, drenched in sweat. Right?
Seals in all the juices. Right? Yeah, it sucks. I think we talked on the show before, but I had a friend of mine tell me you have to tie it in a knot and take it with you.
You're right.
Put it in the baggie because if not, every woman will poke holes in it and then put it back in so she can have your kid.
Right. I've heard that.
I heard that and I
heard famous people like rappers and stuff like that. They do that.
Yeah. They try to. Yeah.
They'll take it. That's apparently a pro strap. I'm like, I'm sorry. No one wants to keep my seed. Have you?
No one does that. My whole thing was like, no one's like, I don't have any. I'm not like a prize winning horse.
They're ready for me to leave. They want to keep me around for another 18 years.
I'm not going to the Derby. They're like, we need to get his seed. Like No.
I
could barely keep gas in my truck at the time. I don't think that I need yeah, no. Oh God, it was so funny. But yeah, I never did have a class on that. They never even showed us that. They just kind of wing it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that condom with the banana thing, I think Louis C.K. was on Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and Christina P.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Hilarious. He was on there and he was talking about his new favorite joke. And his new favorite joke was a PE teacher. It was health class. He came on today. He brought a banana and they were going to show how to put on a condom. He's like, all right, kids, I'm going to show you how to put on a condom today. And I brought this banana because I can't get a hard on an empty stomach.
That is good stuff.
That's a pretty damn good joke.
That's like Monty Python. They did that class with a sex ed. And he was showing them how to enter a woman.
Yeah,
they brought a woman in the class and had sex in front of them.
Yep.
And they're all like,
then
taking note. You enter and yep. And then yep. And I was like,
then you can begin the thrusting motion.
I'm pretty sure it was his wife. It was something weird. And all the boys were like, traumatized class taking notes and shit. If you think about it, that would be the best way to show.
Oh, that was like the premise of well, not the premise, but the big scheme they had at the end of the movie of Girl Next Door is they made like a real sex ed tape.
Yeah, great movie by the way. If you haven't seen it, yeah, that's the whole thing was they did sex ed.
A dude came out with a fencing mask on, and he apparently
had a hammer on him. Yeah, had an iguana.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That's what I got. What's weird is they showed that tape. And the guy was like, "Oh, this guy's a legend," and I'm like,
right.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah, like, I mean, I've seen a big dick in the locker room.
He was sitting up front of the TV like it was Saturday morning cartoons, and he was, 8 years old.
He told everybody to be quiet.
And he's like, quiet.
Like he was going to give a speech.
Right. I need silence while I'm looking at this dude's dick.
Yeah. I need to be perfectly in tune to this.
I need to be really zoned in on this thing. And then he was like, he's so
Wasn't that guy's name Clit? That was the kid. Yeah. That was the dude's name. Yeah. That's a great movie. Yeah, he had
another one. I love that scene when later they're showing like how everybody like turned out at the end of the movie or whatever. And the other friend, I can't remember what his name was. He wanted to be like a film director or whatever. And then he was like, I guess because he had directed the sex ed movie, documentary, whatever the fuck, instructional video, and so he became kind of famous in that circle, and he was going around and was speaking at a panel or whatever. He's like, he was speaking at like a panel or whatever. They were going to take questions all up from the audience, and one guy was like, "Aren't you a little young to be a director?" And he was like, immediately, "Shut the fuck up!
Sit the fuck down! Next question!
Yeah, I love that.
I'm trying to look at that dude's what their names were. Did you see that picture of her from 2 years ago?
Who?
The girl who plays.
Oh, you're talking about
you know her name?
Alicia Cuthbert. She was in 24, which you know what? That's a show that was huge. I never got into it.
24. I never watched it.
I might check that out.
Okay, Elizabeth.
After
you said her
Sopranos.
name. Yeah. So I was trying to look and see what.
It's network TV, so it's going to be a little tame.
Is there on a cast list on IMDb like that appropriately? Oh, I got it. I got it. Shh.
Alicia Cuthbert. She was also in another good. It was a sitcom that didn't last very long.
Klitz. Klitz was his last name. They called him Klitz, and it was Eli. Eli was the dude that was the filmmaker. Yeah. Those were hilarious.
Yeah, I remember they went to the AVN Awards, the porn convention.
Yeah,
right. And they thought they acted like they were directors, and they were like, the guy was like,
tits.
Right. Yeah, it was like, you want to feel the tits? You want to give her a go? Yeah.
He was like, I don't know. He's like. And that's what dude said. They're not directors. They're in high school. And they were like,
he got all mad.
Yeah, and they all freaked. Yeah, that whole thing was great.
I would say Alicia Cuthbert. She was also in another show. It was a sitcom. It was pretty good. It was called Happy Endings. It was basically like it was basically like a modern, at the time. I don't know. This is like 2010, maybe earlier than that. Friends. It was
okay.
It was like
I think I know what you're talking about.
3 girls, 3 guys, a group, and they all were in different relationship situations or whatever. And she played one of them. And it was pretty good. And it had Damon Wayans Jr. in it, which he ended up going over to New Girl, which is also great. If you ever watched New Girl,
you should
really watch that one. That's a good one.
Okay.
It feels a little weird there at the very end, but I really relate to the character Nick Miller.
Okay.
He's an adult child.
Okay.
That never has his shit together. Kind of gross. I don't know. He does. Well, he does like weird, gross things sometimes. I don't know. He's a weird character.
Okay, but I relate to Jim from American Pie.
He's also like hopeless with the opposite sex.
Okay,
even if he does get one, he fucks it up somehow. Whatever.
Oh, while you're on the subject of rom-coms, I finished the one that came out today with Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher. Your Place or Mine. I finished it today. I posted on my Instagram just saying like what the rating I gave it as far as what I thought about it.
I didn't know you were watching that. What is it?
Yeah, it just came out today. It's called Your Place or Mine. Ashton Kutcher, Reese Witherspoon. And then also came out today on Netflix. And then also that short-haired girl that's a lesbian comedian. What's her name?
Tig Notaro.
I liked her in this movie. I usually don't, but I liked her in this one. She was a lot more believable, and I'd want to hang out with her.
Yeah,
to be honest. Anyways, short movie. Like it got terrible reviews online. I don't know why. I enjoyed it, but I'm also prone to rom-coms and coming of age love stories. Right in my wheel. Yeah. As soon as I saw the preview, Kylie was watching me look at the preview, and I was like, "That looks great," and she was like, I think it's hilarious that you think that's going to be good. I'm like, I'm going to watch it.
I'm embarrassed for you.
And I finished it today. It's great. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It's fun. Ashton Kutcher still got it, man. Like he's just a likable guy. I just think he's cool.
Yeah, as far as he just seems like him personally.
No, he just seems like a humble dude.
But from what I have seen from him, he does. I think he's he seems
regular
like a grounded
guy.
Dude.
Yeah,
and like sometimes you see they get too famous and they kind of turn into dickheads. A little bit. They look kind of uppity and whatever. But him and Mila Kunis seem pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, I don't.
And they also, like I like Leonardo DiCaprio, but he seems unapproachable to me, and kind of out of touch. And then also a lot of these people that get super famous, they kind of made their mark, I guess, in that regard. And then they start getting into philanthropy. And his whole shtick is climate change, and he gets kind of preachy about that. And you're just kind of like, shut the fuck up, dude. But like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they're into child sex trafficking.
Like they're kind of into doing that.
Like they have a whole underground.
The way you said that, I was like,
no. As I was saying that, I was like, no, they're
against it.
Against it.
I got it.
So they're doing the whole campaign against that. Yeah. So I was like of all the problems in the world, you know what I mean? Like pick something that actually can have like a meaningful, like that should be priority number one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Not the ozone layer.
Not the fucking climate change where we're gonna have like an extra degree in 100 years, and you may have to like move away from your Malibu mansion or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we got time to figure that one out. Like chill the fuck out.
Sex trafficking.
But like maybe we should figure out.
I think it's
that first. And so I appreciate that he didn't go the easy route with the stuff that. The easy stuff where he'll get invited to all these parties. He actually went to something that was like, what's the worst thing that's happening in the world right now
that I can
make an impact on? And I think that number one, child sex trafficking, number one.
Yeah. Like, so another little thing about me, for all you people that don't know me or whatever, besides rom-coms and coming of age stuff, I'm also a sucker for trashy Hollywood magazines. Like people, I like to know what's happening.
You
like people, the ones you see when you
Hollywood
go to checkout.
magazines.
I like to read all those and figure out who's dating, who's with who. Oh man, her mom really appreciates them because I got caught with that one day in the line. She was like, she saw Ben Affleck and.
So you have the E! News network on all the time?
I have the app, but
seriously, or are you joking?
No, I really do. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck were getting back together, and Kyle was like, "What?" And I said, "Her mother is really okay with this." She was like, "Did you just fucking say her mom is okay with them getting together?" It's like, she loves Ben. It's going to work out great this time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because, like, I don't know. I just like that they go through real things, and for some reason that shit just is entertaining to me.
Yeah, I get you.
I saw...
Well, that's honestly why that's why
it's
a whole industry from that.
Absolutely.
It's people, and someone has made... I've heard people
it
make
makes
the
you
argument.
semi-relatable.
Yes.
It brings you almost... I don't do it to bring them closer to me, but it's drama that I don't have. Like, everybody likes a little bit of drama, so I can live within their realm.
You see, like, these people, famous people on screen doing cool things or awesome things, and then you kind of you want to know more about them, and so it's just
That's why I love Jimmy Fallon so much. Like, I love his show because I didn't know that Rita Ora, the singer, the British singer, she's married to Taika Waititi. I'm going to say his name wrong.
Taika Waititi.
They just got married. I don't even know them, and I was like, I could see that, and like, she was all pumped about it. Whatever. I like the whole thing.
I did heard someone make an argument before is, how like Hollywood is like perceived as like super woke and they're fucking crazy and they're doing crazy bullshit and all this kind of stuff. Someone, I think it was a comedian on his podcast, made the observation. He was like, the problem is that they were always like this.
Yeah.
It's just that now we have more access to them.
That's correct.
And they're posting on Instagram where we're delving into their lives.
Yeah.
50 years ago, they were just as fucking crazy, but we didn't know it.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because all they did is star in the movies. They would do maybe a little press junket here and there, but you didn't have access to their tweets. You know what I mean?
I feel like some of the celebrities I like, I've said this before, is that I would hang out with them. Like, they would want to hang out with me if they met me.
Right.
That's why I usually message them.
Well, yeah, because you have that.
There's the sliver of hope.
That is the instinct that forces you to DM people.
That's correct.
Right.
I haven't DM'd anybody in a while.
You should. Yeah, make sure you.
Well, there's a couple of people that I have in my little wheelhouse that I'm waiting for them to. I feel like if I keep messaging them enough, and we go, even if it's just little things, little comments, but they'll message back and forth. They'll eventually add me. I'm like, now I fucking got you.
Got you. Hooked in.
Now I can look my 470 followers. One of those, he'll have 90,000. I'm like, oh my God, he must. How do you know him? I'm like, because I fucking know him.
Right.
So. I didn't mean to slam that table. Sorry, guys. That was loud.
This is a very passionate subject for you.
Yeah, it's that sliver of hope that, by God, I'm gonna get my weekend. I'm telling you, it's coming. I can feel it.
You ever thought about just like starting your own like brand? I guess.
Yeah. So
and then you can collaborate.
I'm glad you brought this up, Zach, because I've also been doing this for like 15 years.
And you don't
now,
have to like be around it.
So I used to have
a cool brand.
So I used to have I used to have my own like. Thing it was called Dirt and Morons.
Yeah, Dirt and Morons.
That was my big thing. Well, retail is scary. Like starting retail is tough.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
because it'd be like this. So I was selling T-shirts at Walmart parking lot.
I see people like that on Instagram all the time, where they're selling some sort of like
they try, but
brand.
It doesn't unless you've got a backing. Like sometimes washed up, like not washed up. That's rude. Kind of washed up. Washed up are like retired racers that already have a following. Will start a clothing brand.
Yeah, I've seen
but
that.
It either takes off or it doesn't.
But I see ones all the time that they're doing like an apparel brand, and I've never they're not famous for anything except for doing the apparel brand. They're all the time like giving away trucks and shit.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It seems weird.
It's wishy-washy.
You know what I'm talking about? You seen those? Like we're giving away $100 in every box, so you order now. And
I'm like,
giving away this Raptor.
So
and you're like,
I have a lot of like passion into that world. Like that's what I wanted to go to school for. Was I want to do public relations for a motocross company. Mm-hmm. That's what I love to do. I told you I wanted to bottle it and sell it if I could. But like, I try to model. I try to model what I buy mostly, and it's T-shirts, hats, stickers. It's to blast it, advertise for free, if you will, and I pay for all that stuff. But like, it's the vibe that comes with it. Like, I like that world. So if I can like bring my own little bubble and try to like jump off of theirs, but I don't know. Like, I've just never been enough to like.
Just tried launching Dirt and Morons.
Yeah, I'm lazy for one.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have never. I haven't. I feel like when I know it, it'll bite me. Maybe.
Yeah.
It'll be the one that takes off, but I don't know, because I feel like everyone's doing it, and like I don't want to mimic or copy what other people are doing, so I have to do it better. So
I've heard some people say that trying to invent a new business is hard. You might as well just whatever the best way to get into that world is just to mimic some other people.
It is.
And then you figure out by doing so, you figure out where you can set yourself apart.
Well, the way I look at it would be,
but first you start out by copying somebody else and go down the trail already blazed, and then you can figure out halfway down they're like, oh, I can go left when everyone else is going right, and now you've ventured off into a new thing.
The way I would look at it would be, okay, well, here's all the companies that I really love, that I buy from, that I spend money with and invest in. Here's what they do great. Let me make a list of things that I wish, if it was me or even chain, not that they're doing it wrong, but I would do more so that I think would be better as a consumer.
Should be a brand consultant.
And do that. So I would go in and be like, okay, look, you got, for just a dumbed down example, it'd be like, dude, you guys only print black T-shirts. Like, can we fucking go like some whites, some blues, something that minute, something that small? Mm-hmm. Or you only do this certain style of pant. Why don't we try this? Like, let's do some diversity in here as far as that. So little things like that. It sells. I'm not saying they're doing it wrong, but for me, I'd be like, as a consumer that spends a lot, like, let's little things. So yeah, like you said, I don't know, what was that position you said?
You're really putting off like a dirt bike Devils Wears Prada vibe.
Right now. Yeah. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, which is, I don't know. It's all.
But no, actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea as far as if you said it sounds like a brand consultant. So if you, instead of developing your own brand, you develop a consulting company because you're a consumer, so you know what people like, you know what you like, and you're a target demographic for a lot of these people.
Exactly.
Right? Because you buy all their shit.
Right.
So it's like, obviously you would know. And so if you did brand consulting, then these companies would come to you and be like, you know, we want to launch brand X with this,
what do you think? With
this BMX guy or this motocross guy or this surfer or whatever, adventure sports type person. You know, if we were to launch that brand, what is some of the stuff you would buy and you would consult on what it should look like?
I kind of wish when we were growing up, I wish they had a section in high school to do it, where you could take a class on entrepreneurship.
Right.
I mean, either have it or you don't. I'm not saying teach me the hustle, but
I didn't know there was really an option.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because I watched Rob Dyrdek was like the only mogul I knew as a kid in high school that saw. I was like, holy shit! Or you're a professional athlete, but like as far as hey, here's a class on starting your own business, or here's like how to get into these particular fields, or like, just something like that. I don't remember there ever being one, but that would be nice to have.
Well, the closest I ever heard anything about like teaching you, I think it was because I had econ class, and in econ class they talked about sole proprietorship, entrepreneur, so they talked about the different business structures as far as that goes, but they didn't go into, like you say. No one really counseled young people as saying, entrepreneurship as an option. It was always hammered in, get good grades, go to college, get a job.
And that's how you're going to make it. Yep. We've talked about that before. Like that is so ingrained. That's what they used to always tell you. And I don't care what anybody says. That's what they told us was you had to go to college. You could take the military route to pay for college.
But then that was,
But the end game was always college, or you couldn't get the job and you couldn't make a living. Sorry about your luck. And that's so wrong. It is. It's not right at all.
It's weird. And the only way you can create like generational wealth for yourself is by doing that. As someone said, no one's ever gotten rich with a salary.
No. My dad told me a long time ago, he's had serpents, he said the greatest job he's ever had was owning his own business, hands down. I got another friend of mine that said he just got tired of having a fucking boss and said, I'm doing it. You just got to have the sack, man. It's all about the sack.
Yep.
I've been put on the spot about it. Someone asked me, I said, I don't have the sack for it, and I'm comfortable, and I'm chicken shit, and I don't want to do it. You have to be okay with the failure of it. And I haven't got to where I'm okay with the failure portion of it, and the debt and stuff that comes with it.
Well, I've got a big decision going on career-wise for me currently.
You're an adult.
And I mentioned to somebody through text, I was telling them, I was like, I am too much of a pessimist for decisions like this.
Yeah. Yep. But being a pessimist like that, though, and when you do decide to take the jump, it ends up being a lot better than you thought because you were so pessimistic going into it. I do the same thing. I always think worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
Always.
And so now what I have got to, it was better when I left my last job and I took the one that I have now. That kind of like broke me a little bit of that to where I'm like, okay, this is not so bad.
I can figure
it out. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so now I'm a little bit more open to just taking the leap because I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, I hate it. I'll figure out how to manage it to where I don't hate it as much because I've done that before. And then I'll just start looking for something else till it makes sense. Like it's not the end of the world that, you pick the wrong job that still funds your entire life. You know what I mean? It's not like you're, in prison or whatever.
Yeah, I did this. It hit me the same way when I left that band I was in. The same exact thing.
When you left the band?
I left the band. I was trying to get that without laughing. I was in a bluegrass band for a long time. And I left and it was,
oh, you're a weird cat.
It was a hard decision. But being an adult sucks at times. Trying to make the decision on that too, because I was the same way when I went from desk job to outside job. Like that was that was terrifying. I talked to like 9 different people, and then finally I was like, "Fuck, I just do it." I mean, but that was easy though because it was ladder. It was the same company, so it wasn't like I was like going to a different city. It was just a complete 360.
Now I'll tell you. For me, I'm 36, and I've gone through. Damn. Like Kevin Hart when he did that to Don Cheadle.
Sorry.
I'm like 56 years old. Damn.
He was like, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. He really felt bad. I don't know if that was a gag or what.
I don't know.
It felt real.
That show's
awesome.
pretty good.
But anyway, so yeah, like I'm 36, and as far as career paths go, I just kind of fell into this whole thing.
I'm right there with you.
Right, and so I focused on that and just like the next thing, or whatever. And so you tell me like, hey, make a decision on changing jobs or whatever. Like I'm pessimist. I'm thinking worst case scenario. If someone come up and was like, hey, maybe you should like start a family. I can't make those. What? I'm totally out of that.
Well, it's just no condom.
right. That's pretty much it. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that today. It's like I keep going, making these moves and steps, and keep going up and up in the career path, or whatever. It's like at some point I need to stop focusing on that and stop using all my mental energy on work or work or not working. You know what I mean? And do some like I got at some point got to get on the ball on that. You know what I mean? I feel like I have to
hold on,
get on the whole let's family life thing.
Oh, you're talking about having a woman?
Yes.
Oh, this is great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is great. I like where this is going.
I feel like I've been putting it off, and I just keep.
Yeah, you really
focus.
have.
It's not been a focus. It really has not.
It hasn't been. I know. I've been around.
Been a focus, and I think I'm getting to that point to where it's like I am at that point. I'm not gonna say I'm getting to that point. I am at that point to where it's like I need to figure this out, or it's not going to happen. Yeah,
because it's that whole saying people always they would be like, if you'll find out when you're not looking for it, or it'll just happen. It doesn't. It doesn't. And as you get older, it shrinks. It shrinks because I'm not in the dating pool, but I'm in the same age bracket as far as what I've seen. I have friends too that aren't with anybody. Like women are going to they're going to be already pre-made families, if you will, whatever you're supposed to call them, if that's the correct term. What the fuck ever. They already have kids, so or have been divorced or whatever. Or fuck, half of them might be in the same boat you just described. Like, probably. Fuck, I got to buckle down.
Well, I think our generation is getting married less and less over the time. It depends. It's regional. It depends on where you are in the world, in the country. But I think that, at my age, you're not going to find a whole lot of, single, never married, no kids.
Yeah, I feel like getting married in your 20s is starting to fade.
Yeah, but see, again, I think it's either there's no in between there. It's either people are getting married young and they've already got set up, and then maybe they do divorce, or they're just not. Or they're just delaying it, like I have been, and they don't really get into that until they're well into their 30s, late 30s.
Well, the good news is maybe I know it happens.
But
I'm
a dude, so I'm at the height of my power. If that makes sense,
sure. Well, you got a lot to offer,
right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm at the height of my as far as male, female things, whatever. Men, if you're younger, not like I wouldn't date anybody under 25 because if you're under 25, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
But you know what I'm saying? We tend to go younger because that's what's attractive to our lizard brains. I know you don't.
I don't like
some. Right.
My wife's younger than me by a couple months, but normally I prefer older women.
Correct. I say I think more traditional. I go. You got to be usually younger than me. At least that's what you're physically attracted to.
Sure.
Right?
I get
youthful, right?
Yeah. I think I like the attitude and the upfrontness of an older woman.
Well, yeah. Personality wise, 100%, I get you. But I think I'm saying like our biology is geared toward youthful.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's all about procreation, all that kind of stuff. And
attractive people make everything better.
Attractive people make everything awesome, including sex.
Including sex. Thank you. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did. Yeah.
But on the other side, it's different. Guys, their height of their attractiveness, once you get outside of the early 20s, and then our age,
you're getting your George Clooney's.
Age matters a lot less to women than the reverse.
Yeah.
Right. And generally, when you're in your 30s, you get into your 40s, you should be at the kind of like the peak of your power as far as career and what you can provide, being a provider and protector and all that, right, all of that. And that's what they value. So I'm at that peak, but I just got to fucking get I got to swing it out there. I'm hiding it away.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, Josh Duhamel just got married. His wife is 18 years younger than him.
Right. Well, you see about Leonardo DiCaprio? That dude is like 50. Yeah. Well, he's 48, and he's dating a 19-year-old Israeli model or something shit.
Well, you know what? He's back to his chemistry. But he's traditional. He's going for a young. He's going for a younger, attractive woman traditionally.
I keep thinking about. I think she's 19. I'm thinking about that. It's like, what the fuck do you talk about?
I would have nothing in common with a 19-year-old chick.
After you have sex and then 5 minutes later you blow your load, then what do you talk about? You know
and then she's looking for round 2 and 3, and I'm like, I don't have a round 2 and 3. Are you shitting me?
Matlock or whatever.
I'm hot out of the gate. I don't want to do this later.
What do they talk about? I just don't understand.
I don't know. Who knows?
They have no life experience.
He's gonna have like pains and groans. She's gonna be like, I feel fucking great.
Someone brought up said that when Titanic came out, his girlfriend was -7 years old.
Same with Dane Cook. Remember he said that? He brought that up.
He brought that up in stand up. Yeah.
So funny. He did it on Jimmy Fallon's show. He was like, I'm like, ugh. Like, and apparently I didn't know this, but I guess the thing now is to have kids later. Like, speaking of Hollywood, because I watch a lot of interviews, I was watching Rose Byrne, the Australian lady. They have, and even Jimmy Fallon, they're in their mid-40s.
It's
late
for
40s,
people. It's
they have
harder
a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. Now,
yeah.
granted, I mean, human, that whole thing, when people can wait as long as you want, whatever. But I was always like, we wanted super early out of the gate because I didn't want to be old with my kids. But apparently, like, fuck, it don't matter now.
There's a growing community of women that are like, when they're younger and they're like going through the whole career thing, and they're not thinking about marriage necessarily. They're like, get to a certain point to where the like biological clock starts ticking, but they have not set themselves up to find a partner, and they're not really in the headspace to do it. So they're like, well, I need to start thinking about this thing, but I don't know when it's going to actually happen. So they're like freezing their eggs.
I need to ask a group of like people I went to school with and stuff, why they don't have kids? Is it because like ones that had talked about having kids before?
We've talked to people that do that, and honestly, it's someone.
But I want to be like, is it because you haven't met the person you really want to have kids with, or is it because it's gotten so later that you're just like, man, it's not really on my radar anymore?
Well, I've heard people, social psychologists and
Jordan
sociologists
talk
about. I've heard them, people like him. I've heard them talk about things like this. Is that back in the day, when we were an agricultural society, you had to have kids. Like if you didn't have kids, you died, right? Because you have to have. Sounds fucked up, but you have to have the free labor to be able to work the farm or whatever, right? Ever since we moved to since the Industrial Revolution, we went to a manufacturing, and then now we're even beyond a manufacturing economy. We're in a service economy now that you don't have to have kids in order to support you later in life. You don't have to have kids to be able to, help out with the business or whatever, you know what I mean? Because the business was farms. Yeah. Agricultural, and you had to have kids in order to help with that, right? To grow it and sustain it. You don't have to have kids now. So kids are no longer a necessity.
I do like what Jordan Peterson
and
said.
So I think that's the reason why is it comes down to, and now it's just become kind of a thing to where I don't need to have kids, right? So only people are having kids because they want that in their life. But then some people are just like, I don't want that. I like my life is good now. I'm selfish. Why would I spend all this extra money on a person that doesn't exist yet? Right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Why would I take that on?
Well, I like Jordan Peterson when he was in a conversation with a woman who was in her early 30s, and he was like, eventually he said, you're going to be lonely. He said, you get to your late 30s, early 40s, you're going to be lonely. It's going to hit you. So. And the way he perspected it was, and everybody's different. I'm not saying that all men, women think the same, but he was just basically telling her, like, from an emotional standpoint, you're going to be alone. You're going to become lonely, and you're going to have people around you that have families and grandkids and other stuff too. Then you're not going to have anything.
Right. Eventually you're going to get to, retirement age.
As far as a tangible thing, I'm not saying like
if you get to retirement age and then now you no longer have your job. So you have nothing to give a flying fuck about.
So that's what I wanted to, I've asked my brother before, and I think he just hasn't met the right. I've told him to his face, like, I don't think you've met the right person that you wanted to actually have kids with. He just hasn't. Yeah. And he mentioned before, and then finally, because the first time he said, he was like, well, I don't want to bring people into this world. I was like, that's a fucking cop out. Then finally, the next year, he was like, because I'm selfish and I don't want them right now. That's the real reason. Okay, fine, great. So, yeah, it makes total sense. But I was just curious about as far as, I have friends that I went to school with that I for sure thought like they would definitely have kids or like be married. Like I was, everybody gets played a different hand. So I've always been curious to ask a group of them, like, did y'all just not want them? Like, is it just like, no thanks?
Right.
Have you seen your friends with them and you're like, fuck that?
Yeah.
I get that too. Whatever.
Yep.
But anyways, back to what you were saying.
I'm just afraid of women.
Back to what you were saying, like you wanted to get that going. You shouldn't be afraid of women. They're pretty cool.
Just kidding.
You need to go to
What'd you about to say? I need to go to therapy?
No. I've been told to go to therapy every day. There's a lot of
I've thought about it.
There's a lot of non-married women. I see them at the gym every day. There's a lot more, I think, than people think.
Oh, it's not for a lack of inventory.
It's just
you can't go shopping unless you actually go to the fucking store.
I think too that nowadays with everything being so in your phone and everything, I really think that if you were to approach a woman face to face,
I think
they wouldn't know what to fucking do. They would panic. They'd be like, I don't know how to respond to this kind of stigma because no one's approached me. Usually it's I get stalked and then you'll message
normally
me.
You get a match and then they'll respond a day after match and then it's like, yo.
Yeah. So I mean, I've online dated before too. It's cool, but I see them all the time, and I'm like,
the quick apps like Tinder.
I didn't have any of those.
Shit.
I didn't have any of those.
I know we the podcast episode that never got released when we had your brother on.
Yeah, we talked about dating.
We talked about that for a bit, and he had some. Him going through it, he had some success with it. But at the time we were doing it, he's right in the middle of his 20s.
Yeah, not now.
Not now.
He's at 29 right now.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, mid to late 20s.
Yeah,
that's if you have a 2 in front of your age, you're in that's where the Tinder and all that.
Sure. But if you crack into them 3s,
once you crack into the 3s, it's not the women are vanishing in that category on those Tinder and Bumble and all that bullshit. Like they don't want to be on that anymore because either A, they've already found somebody and they've moved on, they don't need the app anymore, or B, they got tired of dealing with all the fuckboys and bullshit on there that they just like, I'm out. It's just either not going to happen for me or I'm going to have to find somebody out in the real world because I can't keep doing this whole Bumble Tinder bullshit.
Kylie and I made it.
And so I feel like that's my experience. And when we were talking to your brother, I was like, that's definitely not my experience lately because I think I have a 3 in front of my age now, right? And it's just not there. I mean, the pickings are slim on dating apps when you're in your 30s. And what's left is like, you know what I mean?
Like Kylie and I were making a joke the other night. We may have been talking about you. And because we always inadvertently find wives for you all the time. But it's weird for a couple to ask them, like, hey, we have a friend of ours we think that you should marry.
Why not? Swingers do it all the time.
Well, I don't want to swing with these bitches.
I know, but I'm saying swingers have balls.
They're going to be like, I'll be like, not with us, idiot. But anyways, I told her, I said, we both looked at each other and I was like, I wouldn't survive the dating pool. She said, oh, no. I said, I am so fucking set in my ways. Like, I would know. I was like, people aren't going to fucking like me. Like, I was like, I'm so set. Because, you're like very versatile when you're in your 20s and you're trying to and you're dating and you're younger. Yeah. But I was like, dude, after there's no way. Like, I just don't know if I would. I have friends too. Another guy messaged me on Instagram. We were geeking back and forth about he got a girl's number and stuff. And he was like, dude, we're like fighting for our lives out here. I was like, fuck, man. I feel bad for people that are still in the dating world at our age.
Oh, you're smart. Because
my thing is like, where do you
just getting married early and fucking just knocking that out? It was smart.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's,
more people should do that.
Apparently,
that's getting married at 18.
Apparently, that's a rarity. I didn't know that.
Like, I don't think necessarily you should get married like 18, like as soon as you're of age to go out there and get married. It's for you, whatever. But live a little bit by yourself and figure out who you are, that kind of thing. Find out what you kind of like want and don't want first, but then I don't say play the field and like swing your dick around. I mean, it's fun, but I think getting married earlier. That's the key.
I like the whole, and it's more popular now, but like live with somebody first, big time. Like you learn.
The studies that they've done on that would tell you is it
the opposite?
The opposite,
really,
is that couples that do not live together prior to getting married actually have a better chance of staying together long term than couples that do.
Okay, I did not know that.
And the psychology behind that, the reason why that is because when you're living together, right, but you're not married, you're basically saying, I'm testing you out, but my foot is out the door. You're you're okay unless I find something better.
Okay,
right?
so I'm test driving the car.
It's a half commitment. You're not making an actual commitment.
I didn't look at it that way.
Yes, I mean, but I think that's nobody really thinks of it looks at it that way. But that's actually what's happening in your psychology. Apparently, is that not for everybody. There's exceptions to everything.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is people that say, let's move in together that as the next step before marriage, is what they're actually saying is like, I'm going to give you a test run, but I've always got my eye on the door in case this doesn't work out or somebody else comes along that's better.
See, we were so
instead. The idea should be is you. What's better, what makes it long term, is that you know what you want, you figure out what you want, and then you look at this person, see if they fit that, and be like, I want to make a commitment. You make the commitment instead of test driving a commitment.
Yeah, I get it. Well, because
it makes it strong.
We're like, Kai and I were so different, probably than most people. Like we moved in after like a month, and got engaged in like 2 months, and then our 10 years this year. So like, it's different. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But we did, longer engagement.
I would say this though. Yours, I think you basically did that way because you only lived together for a few months and then boom. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were already committed.
Correct.
Already. It's not like you were guys living together for years and then you popped the question.
That's why I was wondering.
So you did it actually kind of right. Just a little. The timing was a little bit.
No, that's why
my parents did the same thing. My parents went on a couple of dates.
Yeah.
And my mom was going to move away. And my dad was like, she's awesome. I can't lose this. And so he's just like, let's do it. And they only went on a couple of dates, only knew each other for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then, boom, married.
Yeah. You know what you want.
Now I'm here. So
yeah, thank you.
Right.
We should call them.
You're welcome, world.
Like I don't, after you fucking said that, I don't know where I was going to go. Because I know you're a parent, so I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. Shit.
Yeah. And then, I heard people talk about this when they do that and they married, and then if you pick the person because for the right reasons, you get the main important stuff, the life goals, the values, the same,
that is true.
The same worldview. If you have that locked in, then all the other stuff is just stuff waiting to be found out. Like know what I mean? And it's like kind of exciting, apparently.
It is. It's, I still learn.
It's got ups and downs,
you learn. It's work. I mean, I know people. Like I've had this argument. I've talked to people, and they're like, marriage is what it takes work. It does.
Right.
It's tough. And I've heard people say, well, it's not tough if you meet the right person. No, bullshit.
Yeah,
it's still tough. I mean, there's such thing as a 7-year itch. There's such thing as the first year is the hardest. Those are all real things. It takes effort and work, and and what's crazy now is divorce is so easy. And then back in the day, like divorce was unheard of. Like you just work shit out. Sorry, no, you're in.
Right. I mean, that has downsides sometimes too. But I think we tend to focus on when things go bad, and so we're like, well, since some people get locked into these horrible marriages and he's abusive or she's depressed or whatever, and she doesn't do anything else. She's just drag whatever. Really shitting on the wife here, but you know what I'm saying? To where people are like, well, see, that's the reason why we shouldn't even have the institution of marriage. I'm like, no, that's not like that. You're focusing too much on when things go wrong. When the reason why they went wrong is not because they were married. It's because they were both shitheads. That's the reason why.
Right. Like, or like when I see a couple that's terrible as dating, and they're like, well, if we get married, it'll fix it. No, it fucking won't.
Or have a kid.
Or that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, that's, because I have family that's done it before too, man. And they'll be like, this will fix it. I'm like, have you lost your fucking mind? Y'all were awful and super volatile before, and you think, let me sprinkle this little egg in here. Yeah. This will make it better.
It's like watching Jersey Shore every day.
Yeah. Let me throw a grenade in there. No, dude. So that's what we need to do this year. You need to get your first tattoo and then find you a spouse.
The tattoo has to come. One becomes before the other. I got to get the tattoo that will attract
the spouse,
right?
Because really, let's be honest. In this,
I'll be like a peacock. That's my plume. That's my.
Oh, I like that. But you just flex your hand out.
Right. Wow.
I like that. I really do. We'll paint you blue.
That will look like another.
You have to go out in a yard. You go out in your front lawn, and then your corner lot, and you have to start pecking in the grass and then peacocking. Yeah, dude. That may be all it is.
That's going to sound like I'm an avatar.
That's okay.
I'm going to try to do a bond with her dog.
with my
little ponytail thing.
I like that. Poor cat's running from you. There's
Steve.
The thing too is like at this point in your life too, it's like I'm in this for the long haul because I'm at my age, and other people, you're like, I'm not. Marriage is eventually is going to be the end game. Like, so I wonder if that's also what the problem is too with this age bracket. It's like your buffer zone is smaller. You know, when you're in your 20s, you're like, I'll get a feel to see how things go. But now it's like,
a little bit,
now it's like, dude, I need to, got to really buckle down here.
Honestly, I've had this thought before. I was like, you know what? The next actual relationship I get in, I'll just be like, fuck, let's just get married. Cause I'm not going to, I have it in my mind. It's like,
that'd be cool.
If I find a girl I was like where I would want to be in a relationship with, let's fucking get married. Like what, you know what I mean? I'm at that point. It's like, I'm not going to do this again. Like my chances are going to be lower, right? So if I find somebody, like I'm not going to date somebody just because it's fun for a while, and then leave, and then be like, it's no longer fun anymore. But no, if I find somebody where I actually want to get into a relationship with, be like, let's just fucking seal this deal. You know what I'm saying?
And I actually have had fantasies about this happening because I would love to.
You just want to go back to Vegas again?
Well, no, I want to go to a double date, like with two people I really like. Like I only have a few couples we have, but like I told her, I was like, do you know how much fun we'd fucking have if Zach married a crazy chick too, and you're crazy? Just two fucking. It would be the most fun. It would be the fucking best. And no, Vegas can wait. It's fine. I know where you're going with that. Chill out. Nick just told me today that he got his ticket. They're going in August for their 20th, not for the anniversary, 20th anniversary for their. I think it's a fantasy group or something. They're celebrating.
Oh, he told me about that. Yeah.
I told him, have you ever been to Vegas, Nicholas? He said, no. I said, oh, it's so exciting.
It's going to be awesome.
I told him, I said,
he was telling me about that.
I told him, I said, you have no idea what you're getting into.
Actually, I'm in a dynasty league with the boys.
He should take us.
I feel like, I don't know what year we're in, but we should do a big one for when we get to 10.
Yeah, they're doing the 20.
Y'all hearing that, boys? Start thinking about something, do a big draft party. Like on location, like cool place, like a guy's trip.
Yeah, and make sure S can go
for our draft. Well, the problem with that is not in our league. There's 12 people, and it's not going to be. I don't think we get all 12.
I'm just using the first one. Yeah. Well, we need to make sure that he asks permission.
Yeah. So we need to.
I'm just picking.
We need to get. I don't think all 12 people will be able to like swing that, but it would be cool if we could. Try to get everybody as much as possible.
I've never even met S before. I'm talking shit about him. I can't help it. I was like, you have to get permission to go.
Yep. We need to get some more people on. When's Gage? Has he talked about?
He's out of town right now. It's going to be this month. I'll get a date from him. I'll talk to him this weekend, I'm sure.
Oh, Scoot. He comes in town quite regularly because his girl's family's here.
Oh yeah, I need to meet him anyway. Yeah. I need to have him on.
He's come into town several times. And,
matter of fact,
I'm like, hey, let's try to. I was like, if you come in, we can delay recording just for you.
He sent something to us, by the way, to look at. Yes, in our.
So I need to try to pin him down because I think he'd probably get on pretty soon, at some point. I think we can get him on before anybody else if he comes into town.
He said somebody sent us something.
But he's got two little girls, so he can't just make a special trip down here.
Oh no, I know. I'm
a
dad too. I understand where he's coming from. Man, he sent something to us and said enjoy, and I don't know what he sent us to talk about on the show. Damn it! He sent something
on our Instagram page?
He sent something. I thought and said get a load of this or something. He was sending us something to read, and I can't remember what it was or I can't find it.
Actually, like DM the page.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. I know you just looked, but I'm going to look.
Yeah, no, go check. I may have overlooked it for real. Like, don't. Yeah, I'm not upset about it.
He hasn't DM'd anything to. Well, I don't know. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. There he is.
Do you see anything?
No, that's where he was shitting on me, saying I didn't know what curve was.
Yeah. Well, I saw that too. Okay, maybe. Fuck, I don't remember.
And then some of the Christmas songs, maybe.
All right. Well, I know he's listening. He'll listen to this Monday. Send it to me again if you know what it is.
He was something he wanted us to look at.
Yeah, and he said I can't remember what it was. Man, I suck. I should have wrote it down.
You know what? You suck.
You know what? You're a dumbass. God, do you ever get those invites on Instagram from like bot accounts?
Oh yeah, all the time.
They're so aggravating because like you want to boost your following count, but like I want quality followers.
It's like I got someone slid into my DMs the other day, a few weeks ago, and it ended up being a whore. a prostitute. And I was like, yeah, that's only women that are sliding in my DMs are prostitutes.
Well, they got to make a living too.
Yeah, I guess. You know, they do the whole thing. We're like, yo, what's up? I saw your page. I thought you were cool. And all, they play this, and I immediately go to her profile. I'm like, who's DMing me? I don't know, recognize his name. And I look at her, and I'm like, like, you're way too cute, way too hot. And then they play this footsie little game or whatever. Like, what do you do for a living? Like,
I'm in tech.
Half the time I make shit up. I just make, like, there's one of them that got me on Facebook one time. And we're going back and forth and, playing this game about, asking me 20 questions. But eventually it leads to, hey, here's a link. Follow me. It's our only.
Do you want to see my butthole?
Or you want to meet up, that kind of thing. $20 for HJs, $30 for beat, or whatever. And they do the whole.
They give you a price list for real? $20 for a hand job?
No, they don't. But they'll offer up. They'll say stuff like. They won't offer up like specific acts, but they'll be like, I'm down for anything. Girls got whatever. They'll kind of give you a little taste.
Chicken cordon bleu.
There was one that was on Facebook that was going back and forth, and I wish I actually saved all the screenshots, and I had reposted them on Facebook, and I had this whole like album of interactions on Tinder.
I remember the Tinder stuff.
You know what I'm talking about? The Tinder stories, and this one was on Facebook, and I would just act like a shithead, or I would do play jokes and kind of beat around, whatever.
Really lead them on,
and I'd do different things. And end up making kind of jokes about it. Well, there's one of them was on Facebook, and she was going around and she was asking me, those questions, and like, what do you do for a living? I was like, I think I was like, I work for my uncle, live with my aunt and uncle, and it's just us three, and we're kind of like out in the boonies, and he's a farmer, and he wants me to be a farmer, but I really want to go to flight school and all this kind of stuff. And then she was like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, where are you from? Or she's like, it's this was a small town, kind of a backwater, but then it's called Alderaan. And I just said Alderaan, right? And then I was like, yeah, it was kind of cool. And then it kind of blew up, and then I had to get out of there, right? Talking about like, it got too busy.
I know, yes.
And I was going through this whole thing where I was pretending to be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Without explicitly stating it.
Yes.
And then she finally gets to the end of it where she's like, oh, well, that's cool. Hey, if you don't mind, like, I'm a model or whatever. If you could like go to this link and like check me out or whatever. And so that was basically the hook. She did her whole little pitch.
Yeah.
She was trying to get me interested, and then boom, here's the punchline. And she sends me the link, and I was like, I sent back a picture of Luke Skywalker with the lightsaber, and I was like, nice try, Emperor. You'll never get those coordinates to the rebel base.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
dude.
that was a fun one.
That's pretty good. I like that.
But yeah, so that's only DMs.
So you got to get back out there.
To. Yeah,
I'm excited about you getting back out there.
See what that phrase right there just automatically sets me on edge.
Well, because we haven't been doing shit, so now you're getting in there. Like you said, it.
There. I'm getting back onto like a football field, and I got to like go start tackling bitches.
It kind of is. You're going to have to if you want to lock one down. You might have to actually physically tackle one in the parking lot.
Get back out there.
Yeah. Look, man, fuck. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know a nice way to say. Like, yeah, I'm glad you're not gay.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty close. I was just going to try dudes at this point.
I told
your brother that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah.
You tried dudes?
Yeah, he was bitching about his girlfriend or whatever. I'm just like, and then all of a sudden you were like, yeah, maybe you should try guys. It'd be funny if he should have countered something funny and been like, you know what? I am.
You're right.
What are you doing later? No. Oh, the one sip thing, we still need to do that too. That's a good idea.
Let's actually like try to do that. We could try to do that this weekend if you want to.
All right.
I mean, I'm an early riser now.
That's true.
So we can get up and let's go to like a cool local spot. Isn't somebody that a friend that opened up a coffee shop not too long ago or something like that? Maybe it wasn't a coffee shop. Maybe it was something else. I don't know. But let's try, different.
We could actually, that one sip could develop into, well, let's discuss it. I don't want to talk about the show because someone could take my idea and I'll be pissed.
Okay.
I have another idea for that one sip thing too.
Okay.
I think would be cool.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll workshop after the show.
Workshop after the show. Sorry, guys. You're not going to fucking hear it until it's a real thing. This baby bird hasn't taken flight yet.
Still in the nest.
No, shit.
I like overcomplicated analogies of simple things.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
And then you just keep going and building onto it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I love the what if game. Like the other day I was driving down the road and I saw some dude, I don't know if he was homeless or just walking down the street, and I was like, what if that dude just like started screaming like through some shit, or like came out like as a clown dressed up and started like screaming at cars. I always like to play the what if, or like
the scenario game.
The scenario game. I play that all the time.
A lot of times it's almost like like you'll do it in the shower, but this is you're talking about in the real world.
I do it all the time. So like I like to do it to my parents. Like we'll be like last weekend we went to Target. And there's always some like ghoulish creatures in Target for some reason lately. Because, like the new thing is to look awful and grungy and greasy.
Yeah.
Well, there was this couple. I'm assuming they were a couple.
Or where people can't figure out what your gender is.
That's correct. That was this couple.
Right.
I kind of figured out what was dude, what was chick, but whatever. And of course, like, we're sitting over there by the coffee, and all of a sudden they like walked off, and I was just like, ugh. My mom was like, oh my God. I was like, I bet they have incredibly passionate sex. And she was like, what the fuck? And she was like, oh. And I was like, I'm telling you, I can tell by the looks of them, it's incredibly heated.
That is one thing that is super gross is whenever you see, it's just something about it I'm just like, whenever you see like a really gross couple,
yeah,
like on Instagram, and they're like just canoodling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just all over each other in public. I'm just like, jail. Send you both to jail. That's gross.
I'm a big fan of trying to gross out my mom.
Yeah.
Like, because, I'm in my mid-30s, so, like, I'm an adult. Like, we've reached now where I can pretty much, there's certain things I won't say for my mom, but most of the time we can geek like you and I do, and I can say gross shit. Yeah. And I always try to top it. Well, at family outings, I always try to make sure I get the grossest thing said. Everybody's just like, oh, and it's laughing, and then no one tries to cap me.
Yeah.
It's just banter back and forth. We just volley this whole thing. Like the other day, she was bringing up, I showed her that picture on Instagram of like, that thing I sent y'all with that girl opened her legs up and it was just like bush connected to her knees.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
She had a Wookiee village.
It looked like a giant armpit. Yeah.
Right.
And
it was Kashyyyk.
It was all black, like a black storm. Like, it's just like I had some rough clouds here. And it was just, you could tell the weather was going to be bad.
She had black mold growing out of her vagina.
Some of that shit was moving.
Yeah, right.
But it was all connected. So anyway, she was just like, damn. And I'm like, I know. And then her and Kylie were geeking. I was like, man, I miss that shit back in the day. She said, what? And I was like, man, the bush. That's how I used to fucking condition that bitch, file it up. I said, dude, I was like the fucking front lawn of the White House. This shit was hedged up. And I just walked off and they were like, it was silence. And I was like, I'm just saying.
You like carved it like perfect edges, like a topiary.
You always want to like hair dry it. Like you were proud of your fucking bush. And then it became a thing. They were like, that's gross. I'm like, well, it's not. I mean, now it is, obviously. Like, I hate the idea of it. I couldn't believe I did that. Yeah. But you didn't know any better. Like you said, I didn't have the access to the rest of the world that it was a no-go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do love it.
I knew to tame the bush. We talked about this. We actually have an whole episode.
We have an whole
bush. I knew about that just because from pornography. So I was like, yeah, I see that you can't.
You see, yeah.
The older ones, the ones in the 70s,
it doesn't
bush,
sell.
And you're like, we're not in the 70s anymore, so I know.
I thought about
stuff. You gotta.
Speaking of 70s, I thought about doing a mustache again.
Yeah,
just a mustache.
I think I'm gonna probably. Gonna shave everything.
Are you gonna do the treatment
and start from scratch?
Oh my God, it's gonna be great. So. It works. Look at Crunk.
Apparently,
he was a child, and now he's 14.
Well, I can grow it in.
I saw it the other day. It was coming in.
But I just need to commit. And just
what if as soon as it comes in, you meet a woman?
I think that's the only thing that's holding me back is lack of beard.
Yeah, that could be it. So watch me like take mine off. I'm doing a mustache, and then like Kyle's like, you look like a fucking idiot. Last time I had a beard.
You're gonna shave beard.
So I always think about having just a mustache because I've seen them on other dudes. Like when I did it last time, I was told it was really rapey, and you don't want to have someone tell you that you look rapey because I'm so not a raper.
Someone says, "Oh, you look like a creep." It just makes me want to do it more.
Exactly, but I don't want to But the problem is that I do it, and the next day I have buyer's remorse.
That's true. But at least it's facial hair. You
idiot. I mean, it comes back in a week, but like it's still like it's stressful.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, I might do it again.
Yeah.
But I always told I have like a fat face. I don't look like a 12-year-old kid.
You're very cheeky. You do have.
That's what I'm saying. It's yeah.
Big jowls.
It's taking you almost 20 years. Somehow I look cheeky. Like what the fuck, man? You look cheeky. He's a cheeky fellow.
I got DSLs, so whatever.
I haven't heard DSLs in years, dude. I can't believe that was actually a thing. I was trying to find that picture of me with a mustache. I look like a freaking idiot. I'm looking for it. I'm going to get back to your DSLs in just a minute.
I'm like the albino Asian. That's what I look like.
Only with your glasses off.
Only with the glasses.
You look Asian.
Do I look more Asian with glasses on or off?
When your contacts are out and your glasses are off, you look Asian. Your eyes go straight to almond.
Whenever I have my glasses on.
No, whenever you're off.
So right
whenever
now.
you're struggling. No, right now you're not. It's when you're it's when you get the lazy eyes when your contacts are out.
It's like this?
You look Asian.
Okay.
Like when that picture of you that Kylie has,
Hello.
she said you look like a fat lesbian.
Yes. That was probably the best descriptor of me sitting in that fucking kayak with that hat.
It was the best thing I've ever heard.
You look like a fat lesbian. It's like, I had
the picture, and Kylie was like, he looks like a lesbian. And I was like,
you know what? Do you have that photo? But you're going to have to post it on our page so people know what we're talking about.
I'll post it Monday and put new episode out. They'll be like, he's a lesbian.
I might make the episode title, Zach looks like a fat lesbian.
It was a little mean, but I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, he would appreciate this if he was here. So,
100%.
And she would have said it if you were standing there next to her. So it doesn't matter. It was so funny. I can't find that picture.
Oh, you have to find that picture.
I'll find that. I can't find the mustache picture.
Find that picture, post it on our page. I think I probably am going to make the episode title, I look like a fat lesbian.
Actually,
something.
she sent it to you. Or I sent it to you in a text. I'll find it. Hold on. I know I should probably have all this like proctored before I get in here, but I don't care. Hold on.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
We do everything live.
Yeah, we don't do post bullshit. We're in it to win it.
Don't plan it out.
Oh my God, I found it.
Yeah. Yep. At least I look like a smart fat lesbian with the glasses. Or maybe that just makes me look more lesbian.
I don't think she said fat lesbian. I think I just said that because we were talking about funny stuff. I think she said you just look lesbian. I think I added the fat lesbian.
The fat makes it better.
Well, you're talking about Sam Smith because he said he was all fat and gay.
Yeah, right.
So anytime now I see that I put that in front of it because it's funny. Because you're really not. That's why I was like, right. I think I didn't say that right.
I just look like a lesbian.
But
like
you really do. You
lesbian.
look like a lesbian social studies teacher. Today we're going to be collecting soil samples and moss.
That apparently likes Gremlins and Miller Lite.
You just like 80s genre films. This is the greatest fucking picture.
Please put that on our page.
And I like how your teeth look somewhat jagged, like sharp, like you actually live on the creek.
Yeah, I got like a little snaggle tooth here.
Yeah, like you live on the creek.
Because I've been like popping beer cans too much with it or something, beer bottles.
Yeah, and we should just get T-shirts made with this. I actually may get a T-shirt with that on there and put Infinite Weekend Podcast. That's fantastic. And then we can do this for the bus and no cap. Look at that Bert and Ernie haircut. Like, dude, if I don't like a groupie, like, look at this idiot.
It looks fake. It looks like somebody put that on top of your head.
Yeah, that was like 6. Look at that. It's before my hairline receded. I look like the poster child for Gen Z.
You know, just post both of those pictures. You know,
all right.
That's us in our prime.
I'm going to split it. And I'll be like, this is us at peak male performance.
Exactly. You may not like it, but this is what peak male performance looks like.
Yeah, this is what... Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what's happening.
Sex symbols right there.
Actually, truly, you should make this your dating profile. Like, single and ready to mingle. Show me your butthole.
Right. But I'm only into lesbians.
I'm going to make this shirt. I'm going to do a T-shirt that's going to say #ruin my hole. That's going to be the picture. Oh, did you see? Speaking of ruining your hole, did you see where old Jeffrey finally posted a picture of Barstool?
I told you it was Taylor Lewan.
The whole thing. Somebody commented was like, "This is fantastic."
Yeah, dude. Brandon was posting about it today too. So,
didn't I say Jeffree Star was my favorite gay?
Yeah, Jeffree Star's favorite gay.
That was my favorite gay. That dude's just cool. I don't.
Is he trans though? Or
no,
is he
straight on dude. He even said he's straight up man.
But he wears heels and
he's into
fashion
because they asked him in that podcast with.
So he's just a gay dude.
Logan.
That's like
Logan
really
Paul. He said he has to do it. He said, "What's my gender?" And the guy was like, Logan Paul was like, "Get it right away." And he was like, "You're he and him." He was like, "Fuck yeah, bro. I'm a dude." He's like, this whole pronoun bullshit wasn't around. He said, when I've been he said, I'm just in, obviously he's gay, but he's like, I'm into fashion and like, I'm into that. Right. I mean, he designs stuff for comedians. Like he's, you know, I don't know. I find the dude, even though I don't like super agree with that lifestyle, whatever, I find that person is so interesting that you can't turn away. Well, I mean, I watched that whole podcast. I was like,
there's something to be said about him as far as he's not making that weird leap that people make to where they're like, just because you wear a dress doesn't mean you're a different fucking gender.
No,
you're still a dude. Oh, you just like to wear dresses. Who gives a fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's just like, look at Boy George back in the day. He made like homemade scarves and shit. He was like 9'2" and gay, but like it's just whatever. But anyways, so Jeffrey's that's my favorite guy.
I figured it was Taylor Lewan.
Yeah, when you called that, and then
he basically Taylor Lewan had Jeffree Star on their podcast. They did a podcast collaboration.
Was it a good one? I may need to go back to watch
it, but they just announced it today.
That whole thing was hilarious. I thought that whole thing they did was so funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Holding hands on the airplane and then like this whole thing. I was like, this is fucking great.
Yep.
So
I got the inkling that it was Taylor Lewan whenever you were telling me about
you did call that.
Which anybody doesn't know, he's a defensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans. He's got a podcast, Bussin' with the Boys.
What a great name.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They should
actually do the podcast on a fucking bus that they've outfitted.
They should invite us on.
It's fucking great.
I'm waiting for us to get an invite somewhere.
Yeah. I think
I'm messaging the wrong people. I need to message podcasts.
I think maybe message people that do podcasts. And I think you start small potatoes like mine, and then work our way up.
I'll go to Mike Rowe first.
You know what I'm saying? Build a roster.
And then I'll go to the boy, the main man.
Right.
What's his name?
Rogan.
I'll go to him. Fuck it. I'm going right to the top. I'm just going to message him.
Why not? It's worked for you so far.
Yeah, I'll be like, look, man.
I'll just ride your coattails.
I want to go with you.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we're going to come to Texas, and I want you to have us on the show. We haven't really done anything.
Listen, I'm gonna send something your way. You just bounce it right back.
Bounce it right back.
I want to be on
your show.
Right.
And I have my friend and I want to come on. We haven't really accomplished a lot as far as some of the people you've had on.
Right.
But we're a good fucking time.
Right.
And I will get drunk on your show if that's what it takes.
Right.
And I can banter it up.
Right.
So I wonder if I plug Gage in there, if the three of us could go.
Yeah, I'd be like,
we'll do a council.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll just be
Rogan's would be no, but that's huge.
You don't know that.
You can try it.
You don't know that. I don't want any money. I'll pay for my own flights.
Well, yeah, I don't think he charges anybody for.
I don't know what he does. You don't know what he does.
Well, that's true.
I'll message him.
Ask him. Get the details.
I'll do it this weekend.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
That. So look out for that, folks. We may have
I'll be honest with you. I would shit a chicken if I got a message back and it was like, just for being that ballsy, you're more than welcome to come down. Here's the dates I have. I would freak out.
Right. And we would get on there and be like, all right, what do you guys do? And we're like,
Joe, a better question is, what don't we do? Right. That's a better question. Let me start with that. Mr. Rogan. Can I call you Joe? Both of us would probably be so like.
Well, I know Rogan.
We'd be so starstruck probably, and then be like so like saying the dumbest shit. It would take us like an hour to calm.
Yeah, but I know like when he brings people down there because he talks about it is where they'll come down to his like compound essentially.
I'll do an ice plunge,
and they'll like shoot the breeze. They could be like hanging out for like an hour or whatever, and just shooting the breeze and talking about this and like touring his facility and everything like that. He's got, and before they actually go on, he's talking about sometimes they'll start and it kind of like gets weird point in the conversation. So they're like, you want to start this over? Oh yeah, let's start this over, and they'll just start over a whole new thing.
That's okay.
So they've done that before, and I know Rogan. He's talked about whenever he has a guest come on, he books he says, I want this person, I want this. He doesn't have like a booking person.
So I need to message him.
He has a person that coordinates it, but he picks the guests. And so he does that because he picks people that he's interested in, his curiosity. And so he does a little research on like he'll either listen to the audio book, he'll kind of read some articles that they do, or he's already a fan. That kind of
he could be a fan.
He'll kind of do his prep work and kind of educate himself a little bit on the guests that he is.
Oh yeah, I've listened to his show.
Got some questions.
He does a good job.
So he's gonna let's say it in the world. He's gonna what would he find if he started researching?
I'll be honest with you. He's gonna go in to know. He's gonna be like, okay, first let me get this out of here. You are a wannabe action sports guy who loves romantic novels and basically wants to cry all the time.
Yeah.
And then he said, over here, you are a washed up political advisor almost.
Right.
And he said, you've been with more guys than me, and you guys think condoms are weird. Like, that pretty much sums it up.
Pretty much. Yeah. Nailed it.
It's like my whole like wanting to go on the Jimmy Fallon show and be interviewed, and they're like, what the fuck are you going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I got kids and a wife. I just haven't done any movies.
Well, I don't think you don't want to be interviewed by him. You just want to like hang out for a bit.
Well, I do that too, but I want to be on his show. Like, I think it would be so much fun. Like, I give a shit about the audience, but like. Yeah, and then I want to go bro biking like him and Justin did.
I wouldn't go the Fallon route. I'm more like I would like to hang out with Rogan.
Oh,
or not necessarily Rogan himself necessarily.
Like Mike, I like to hang out with Mike.
Like his squad that he has on every once in a bit of comedians.
Yes,
I would just like to sit in that room. Just sit. I would just be in pain.
I'd want to be the guy that's on the Two Bears One Cave.
Yes,
but not that. What's the other one that him and his wife do? Yeah, one of their producers that is the one that laughs out loud. I want to be that guy. Yep. I just want to be in the booth and laugh at everything.
Or another good one, although I think that their humor would be, I wouldn't be able to contribute to it because it's I don't know. I think I probably could.
You could.
It's a new, they call it something else now. It used to be Come Town, but now it's Adam Friedland show. Nick and Adam, Nick especially. Nick, these
guys are rough.
His humor that he has is basically, we were talking about with Crunk too, is like suicide humor. Is he has this like dark, dry delivery, but of everything sucks, the world sucks, I should just kill myself kind of humor. It's hilarious to me. I don't know why.
It's awesome.
But it's hilarious, and he's the best. And I would love to be on that show, but I wouldn't be able to participate because they have this. They're just so deep into that comedian mindset to where they just can rattle off.
Yeah, and they say shit that I'll lose my job over.
Correct. And that, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many child rape jokes they tell. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I've never heard so many damn child rape jokes in my life.
A lot of hard R's. They're rough.
Lot of that.
They're rough. Very, so funny. Speaking of like,
well, they don't do any hard R's, but because they would get them immediately canceled. But they pretty much offend everybody. They're basically if South Park was a podcast.
Oh, speaking of South Park, I told you. Well, you heard me at work yesterday, like rolling in my desk, could not stop laughing. I went on. It's on HBO Max, but I'll just Google like the top funniest episodes. That show. They're about to be on their 27th season. Yeah. I'm at this point convinced they can do and say whatever they want.
Here's an example of why I think Adam Friedland show is like South Park podcast. Because I was listening to an episode today, and they were riffing on the idea that during World War II, they had the Axis powers, so you had the Germans, the Nazis, and you also had the Japanese. And they were like, "What do you think that they like traded soldiers sometimes? Like you had like an exchange program where you had some like Japanese guys like at the concentration camps, like, okay, you just get into the oven and all this like
no."
Mimicking and doing the voice of like an Asian man sending Jews to the chambers. Like, who the fuck thinks of that?
I haven't listened to that podcast since they've changed it. I need to get back on that.
That's the latest episode.
Is it the best?
I listened to it today and I was just like, how the hell do you come up with a soldier exchange program of Nazis and Japanese, and then they do a whole bit where the Japanese guy's like, okay, you guys ready? And sending Jews to the gas chamber.
And speaking English.
Right. It was weird. It was I was laughing my ass off because it's so absurd and they do it so well.
I need to listen to that show. I need to get back involved in that.
It was wild.
Come Town was hilarious. The Power Rangers was my favorite. They're talking about like an overweight Power Ranger. What color would they be?
Yeah, like strawberry swirl.
It was like, and they had like a little video of it. This big badass Ranger. It was so funny.
Just the stuff that they just come up like. They pull it out of their ass so fast.
The Stephen King movies they did was great.
Amazing.
They were talking about that Anthony Hopkins movie. He's like, you like to put on your mother's clothes.
Right.
He's like traumatizing this kid out in the street.
They have an absolute skill to where they legitimately do not give a flying fuck what people think of them. And they have no fear of repercussions of what they say, is what it seems. Because everything is pretty much a joke. They just fall back on, well, I'm a comedian, so I tell jokes. But they don't have any – they're talking about somebody who doesn't have a filter. They have no filter.
They
brain
don't.
out. And it's amazing. And so I highly recommend, if you like our show, which we are not comedians, but we like to have a good time. We try to crack some jokes. You crack some jokes. We talk about life stuff, talk about movies and culture and all this kind of stuff, or whatever. So we're kind of like all over the place. Condoms and they suck. But if you kind of like dark, kind of gross humor and all that kind of stuff, Adam Friedland show, 100% watch it. Or you can watch the old school stuff, Come Town. It's fantastic.
They're on YouTube. Love that. I would watch the YouTube ones because you get clips from the films. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, I don't know why they actually changed it to Adam Friedland show. When I think Nick on there is the more.
Where are you
talented
watching?
one.
Where are you listening to? On just the same
Spotify.
place we get ours? Oh, it's on Spotify? Well, so are we. I didn't know if you were getting it from the same.
I listen to everything on Spotify. I did follow some people on YouTube, but primarily I listen to Spotify because it's just easier on mobile.
That's where we get
when I'm
most of our
driving and
viewers is Spotify. I checked it today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the platform for podcasts mostly.
I agree.
So, I mean, some people do Apple Pod. I think that's probably number 2.
That's where I get mine primarily, and then Spotify. I do both.
everybody's got an
Because
iPhone.
Joe Rogan does his video on Spotify.
Yeah, right. Yeah, now they do video. I listen to another good one because I'm a fucking dork is the Dark Horse podcast, but that's a couple of evolutionary biologists. They're married and they have a little podcast where they talk about current events and pretty much things that have happened this week or whatever they want to talk about from that perspective of being an evolutionary biologist. So there's you can get kind of highbrow, or not highbrow, but like cerebral.
I literally almost fell asleep when you described that podcast.
Right. I think I was.
My eyes just glazed
I was
over.
immediately going to kill myself after I was finishing that sentence because I was like, no
Yeah.
one likes this. Why am I?
I was
saying?
literally
why
thinking
am I
about
talking?
Japanese concentration camps while you were talking about that. I was like, I'm going back
No,
to that.
it's Nazi concentration.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
But the Japanese are staffing.
I was like, get in. I'm like, I've lost when you were like, they're evolutionary. They collect butterflies. And
what are they,
shit.
Mexican now? Get in.
Yeah, I don't know how to do a Japanese accent.
Hello.
That's Korean.
Whatever. Asian.
Oh, so they all look the same. They all sound the same.
Okay. Racist.
Correct. Hi, I'm a red flag.
Another thing I love to watch on Instagram is clips of other podcasts where you have all these different comedians going to each other's podcasts. It's
Yes.
hilarious. One of my favorite groupings that I see is Bobby Lee and Theo Vaughn.
I like
They'll
the
go
one.
on each other's podcasts and their interactions
They're great.
are hilarious.
I like the one with Chris Stefano, Bobby Lee, and somebody else where they asked Chris Stefano about who he'd vote for president, and he was like Trump. And he looked over at Bobby Lee and was like, "That's right, you heard it, Trump." And he pulled his eyes.
Right.
Up. Bobby Lee almost had to get the fuck out and leave. He couldn't
saw
stop
that.
laughing.
Yeah, dude.
I laughed so hard because I've seen Chris Stefano stand up live. He's awesome.
Because I think Bobby Lee asked Theo Vaughn, he was like, "What?" He's like, "You know I'm Korean, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know, Korean and Chinese are different, right? Like,
Yeah.
tell me, like, how are Chinese and Korean different?" And Theo was like, "Well, Korean are different because you kind of forget that they exist." That's how you know they're Korean. It's like, what the fuck?
But still, the best was Bobby Lee talking about when he was brutally molested by a man with Down syndrome.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh my gosh, he's an awkward cat.
He is super weird.
But
Absolutely.
his shit's funny.
His podcast is Tiger Belly, which is then he's on another one called Bad Friends with this redheaded comedian. He's actually on that show Dave. You should check that out. But yeah, he was Bobby Lee was saying apparently they're like best buds or whatever, called best friends. And Bobby Lee was like, "It's like, have you heard about this? The largest like grizzly animal or whatever in Chicago or whatever." And he's like, "No, I haven't heard about this." Yeah, it's your mom. And like Bobby Lee was trying to like make a joke, and he gets all upset. He's like, "Don't talk about my mom. Don't talk about my mom. She's a beautiful woman." He's like, I know. She's beautiful. Unlike your cross-eyed mother." And he crosses his eyes and goes, "I'm Bobby's mom. I'm Bobby's mom."
Do you have that clip?
Had Bobby Lee rolling. Oh yeah, I could probably.
I need to find that clip.
I'm Bobby's mother. I'm Bobby's mom. He goes, eyes crossed. I'm Bobby's mom.
Yeah, you need to find that, or I can. Are you plugged in on the phone?
I'm not plugged in.
I got it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. What was it? Bobby Lee and who?
Bobby Lee and just Bad Friends podcast.
Bobby Lee, mom cross-eyed.
Yes.
I found that right away. Your mom jokes. Oh my god!
See, that's it.
You have to deal with the advertising, people. Sorry about your luck.
Advertisements.
We're bad friends.
Santino.
Yeah, Santino. That's it.
Yeah, it's like a minute long.
Fight.
It's an animal in Chicago. The grizzly animal.
In Chicago?
Your mom.
Got pissed.
It's funny.
That grizzly animal.
Don't talk about my mother.
It's just a joke. Relax.
Yeah, my mother's very pretty.
She's a beautiful woman.
Unlike your cross-eyed mother.
You don't have to fucking get.
I'm not Bobby mother. I'm Bobby mom.
You're so fucking mean, dude. That's your skin color. Anyway,
Your mom, you know what your mom looks like?
What?
Your mom looks like, you know when kids dress up as old people?
yeah.
And they're wearing, that's what your mom looks like, a kid
Oh,
that's
wow.
wearing a mask.
Wow.
That was actually pretty good. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's,
He was pissed for a minute.
yeah, dude. So don't you talk about mom?
I'm always mom. Yeah, Theo Fonso was they locked his friend up, and he was just, or no, that he said they used to play. His stand up was there. Used to him and his buddy used to wrestle, and then that gay friend there just bit that dude, and he was like,
Yeah, we'll see.
"We'll see." And just walks off.
Right. But I'm noticing like all these comedians have these podcasts, and they just they're all in each other's podcasts. They
Yeah.
just mingle in, and
That's
it's
how they
just
help each
fucking
other.
riot, and it's great. I love it. I would love to if I could, I'm not a comedian, but if I could get plugged into that, I would just be pig and shit.
God,
It'd be
my
so much
stomach
fun.
would hurt.
I would have to have like facial reconstructive surgery because
From
my
laughing.
mouth, from laughing so hard.
Oh, that would be awesome. Dude, I was listening to Kevin Hart the other day. I was just scrolling through some comedians, and it got to a bit. Because on Pandora, you know, it cycles through. That's where I'll do my comedy radios on Pandora still. But it goes through, and he was talking about when his dad came to visit him, and he brought his girlfriend, and she's in a wheelchair. But they watched The Conjuring. And I guess he got afraid that night. He said, like, ended up in the car, and his dad was in the back seat. He's like, "Where's Connie at?" He said, you know, I can't carry her or push her and carry her in that goddamn wheelchair. I left her up there and I locked the wheels.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, yeah. Oh, fuck. That's good stuff.
Yep.
We need to go to a comedy show.
I haven't been to one for ages.
Connie and I went and saw Sal Vulcano and Chris Stefano last year at the Ryman. That was a good show.
Yeah, we should do that.
We're going to see
I don't know
Joe
why I would
Coy
do
in
more of
March.
that. Yeah,
I just remember
you
that.
told me
We're
that.
going to see Joe Coy in March.
I
Nick
don't
and
know
his
why-
wife are coming.
I don't know why I don't go see more comedy shows. I mean, I can go to Zanies in Nashville easily.
I've never been to Zanies. You want to take me?
Yeah, we should.
All right.
Let's look on the docket and see what they got coming up.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to Zanies. You should take me.
Yep. Yep. I'll buy you dinner too. Treat you real nice.
Thank God somebody is.
Yep. I will be expecting a hand job on the ride home.
I've had a lot of practice on myself.
Minimum hand job. See how the day goes.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm not as interested anymore.
Okay. I creeped it out. All right, cool.
You just expect too much.
Right. I think it's what it is.
Damn, man.
I come out of the gate way too.
That's
way
why
too
you haven't met a late.
hardcore.
You're just practicing what you're going to say to your new wife.
You're
You're
right.
going to be like, look, we're going to a comedy show. I'm going to buy you
I think
dinner.
you just need to be
and
out
then I
for
need a hand job.
I think just being out with it is best policy at this point.
Yeah.
I think they might appreciate the
The maturity.
laying the cards out on the table.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hiding the ball here. This is what I'm about.
I'm about good
I'm
dinner.
about comedy shows and hand jobs.
That's it. And not in that particular order.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the same time.
And then it would be really funny. Like that guy here in town that got arrested, like aggressively.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that fucking article was so funny.
Oh yeah, dude. I just like how, first of all, you have this whole masturbation set up, and you're like leaning back in your lazy boy in your office, and you're like eyes closed.
So,
toes
I guess it
curled,
wasn't
and
a
you didn't
recliner.
lock your office.
I guess it wasn't a recliner.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a chair. I thought so too. And then someone was like, why the fuck would you have a recliner in the office? I said, for jerking off. That's obviously.
Right.
But yeah, so he just apparently, and I like how that student got that descriptive in what they saw, which tells me the
Right.
lights were on.
It also means that it wasn't a quick glance. Like he stared
The lights
situation
were
down.
on.
Yeah.
So, which is, hey,
He stood
I
there for a
prefer
second and soaked it in.
I prefer a lamp myself. You
Right.
get some shadowing. It looks bigger than it is.
No.
The dude had full on office lights
Oh
on.
yeah, and office lighting don't make anybody
Oh,
look good.
no.
You know
You get
that
a
look
lot of
terrible.
blemishes,
The shadows don't
hairs
work
you
right.
missed.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. What did they like? He was leaned back, eyes closed, aggressively pleasing himself.
And he didn't lock the door. What's
College
wrong
professor
with
at Austin P.
you? Yep.
Poor guy.
It can happen to anyone.
What if he was like, I got tenure here. I can jerk off in my office.
Right. Exactly.
It's not a big deal, guys.
Yeah. The thing is, the rule is though, lock your doors. Like you can jerk off, you do whatever you want in your office. Just lock the door so nobody walks in and sees it.
Matter of fact, what if he
That's
would,
what I would say
what if he
if I
turned
was-
around and said, do you want an A in this class or not?
Right.
We've come to a crossroads here. What decision are you going to make?
Right.
Yeah. So, wasn't he a chemistry teacher? Chemistry professor?
Chemistry?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was working up a potion.
I told Kylie, I said he had that Bunsen burner on that tank too, getting shit weird in there.
Still can't grow any hair there.
Nope. Sucks. I
Yep.
told Kylie, you think he would have been like, put that beaker in there? I started naming like chemistry set shit. She's like,
Right.
said something. I'm just saying. Fuck. I think we've come to an end here.
Yeah, when we start talking about jerking off, I think
With a beaker and a chemistry set.
The episode's run
Yeah.
its course.
That's all right. Yeah, just take us out. That's good.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for listening. On that note, like, subscribe, share.
Yeah, comment. Please comment. Send us some
Send us
stuff.
some comments.
Don't be shy.
Give us some gross stuff, some life stuff. Actually, give us some recommendations for Josh to cry at a movie or something.
Or
a recommendation for cry about.
Potential singles for Zach.
Right.
If you guys know anyone that's potentially, I don't know why I just said potential, anyone that's single and is,
Ready to mingle.
I don't know where the fuck I was going with
I don't
that.
know, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's any chicks out there that, are looking to marry Zach.
Yeah. And to really get them going, use this episode as evidence of why they should
Hey,
marry
you know
me.
what? You're in the media. What do we call it? We're content creators.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So,
Yeah, if anybody's listening to this show, I'm thinking I'm just making myself more single if that's possible.
oh, fuck. It just means we both need therapy heavily.
All right. Well,
All right.
anyway.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.